Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our video here today. My name is Deepak Chari. I'm an engineer and certified biofeedback specialist, and I'm joined with my sister, Dr. Rupa Chari, a medical doctor, at our integrative center called the Chari Center of Health. My sister and I co-founded the Chari Center of Health. It's an integrated medical center 25 years ago, and it's now a virtual medical practice. I'm Deepak Chari. I'm an engineer and certified biofeedback specialist. And what I do is I use the sound of your voice to quickly help clear anxiety, stress, depression, any kind of emotional issues whatsoever, emotional triggers, quickly and easily. Your voice is the most accurate reflection of your perception of how you perceive the world. I'm able to listen to your voice and plot what's called a voice map, which analyzes your subconscious emotional voice pattern. And most importantly, I can send you specific harmonics of frequencies of sound that can literally release those patterns that are holding you back, whether you've had it for 1 year, or in one case, one lady I had 65 years, quickly and easily in a fraction of that time. So it's been very effective, and I've helped people all over the US and world, and I'm very grateful, starting with my own journey myself. My sister, Dr. Rupa Chari, is an integrative medical doctor who focuses on women's health and wellness to lose weight, balance hormones, have more energy, and reverse aging so you look and feel years younger. So that's a little bit of our background. Today in our show, we're joined today by Adam and Madeline, and they have a brand called PACHA. And we want to ask some questions about it and their innovative bread that they've made that everyone can eat, because that has been a challenge for both of us with bread and gluten, and we couldn't really eat any bread, and we wanted to enjoy it, but we just pretty much said, okay, we can't. There's no way we can eat it. So that's kind of what our challenge was. So we're very excited that you created this product, and so we want to just kind of talk to you about what you've done. I guess I'll start out some of the questions that I'm sure many people are wondering as well. One of them is, when did you start your company, and what inspired you to start your company, PACHA?
We started PACHA in 2020. It was right as the kind of pandemic was coming underway, and we were in the midst of, we had been experimenting with the bread recipe for years, both at home, for ourselves, making it for our friends, and we weren't eating bread. Maddie and I both. We had stopped eating bread because we weren't really eating gluten, and we couldn't find any good gluten-free bread options. And so discovering and creating this bread and being able to have it for ourselves first and foremost, and then like making it more and more in our kitchen. And then just at some point realizing like more people needed this bread. Our friends were asking for it. Our business partners who own an organic vegan restaurant called Trilogy Sanctuary needed organic gluten-free bread, and they couldn't find any that was of high quality. And so we're just like, the world needs this bread, and it's time for us. We were feeling called to make it and get it to more people.
That's wonderful. And when I first heard about your bread, I was so excited on many fronts. For us personally, because as my brother Deepak was mentioning, we have stopped eating bread for years and missed it so much. And we tried other gluten-free breads, but they had so many other fillers and potato starch and tapioca. And I was finding those products were actually creating as much inflammation as the gluten products and gluten breads and grains. And so that's why it was a conundrum. It was, like, what can we do? Are we ever going to be able to eat bread? This is a question we had ourselves, and our patients were asking us all the time, am I going to never be able to eat bread again? And that affects us emotionally, physically, but also emotionally, because we're not able to eat the things that we love. So when we heard about your company, PACHA, and read about all the incredible things that you both are doing in terms of the quality of your bread and how it's so easily digestible, we were so intrigued. And we just started eating your one of your breads with the buckwheat, which is with the sourdough. And it was so delicious. Oh my goodness. It was so delicious, easily digestible. And we're recommending it now for, all of our clients to get. And so that's why we were so excited to have you both on, because this is something that can truly change everyone's lives. And so thank you both for everything that you're doing. This is incredible. And wanted to ask you then, how is your bread different from other gluten-free breads on the market, and what are the benefits?
So, yeah, like you mentioned, I think the biggest difference between our bread and the rest of the gluten-free breads on the market is that we aren't using any kinds of like psyllium husk or arrowroot starch or any kind of binder. And as you mentioned, those things can be just as problematic as gluten. Our buckwheat loaf, the original recipe buckwheat loaf sourdough bread, has 2 ingredients. It is literally just buckwheat and salt and water. But yeah, so we're making a bread that has simple, recognizable ingredients, and basically, unless you're allergic to buckwheat, you can eat it.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
And we also start with whole buckwheat, which I think a lot of breads start with all, flours of all the different various grains or seeds that they're using. And we start with whole buckwheat and we soak it and we sprout it. And so we make it more nutrient dense and more of the nutrients are available to your body. It becomes more bioavailable because of the soaking and sprouting process. And then we also ferment it. And so it's a flourless, grain-free bread that's sprouted, fermented. And so it's just really the optimum, bioavailability of the nutrition in the buckwheat.
And how has your bread benefited your customers? Meaning, what has their feedback been so far that you've heard from everyone?
I wish I had like a little reel.
I don't have the spread, the testimonial reel, but we get amazing messages from our customers, just like people that are writing us like paragraphs of how incredible the journey of finding our bread and how it's changed their lives and how they can eat bread again. And a lot of the stories are similar to our story where we weren't eating bread and we can, but even some stories that are even more impactful where people are, really limited on the foods that they can eat and have very sensitive digestion or stomachs or things, health issues that they're dealing with. And then this bread is kind of just like has become a savior for them and become just another product that they can eat, which is on a list of very few options for some people. So,
well, what you both are offering is so unique and so needed. So we can imagine, the feedback that you're getting is just wonderful.
Yeah.
And yeah, please.
There's one thing that, in regards to how are we doing things differently, it's actually kind of surprising when you look at the options on the market that there are not very many organic gluten-free bread options, actually. It's like for us, we eat all organic, so it's just kind of a baseline thing. We make a lot of food from scratch too, so I'm not always out in the supermarket looking at certifications, but yeah, there's only like 2 or 3 other brands that actually are using organic ingredients for their products. And we'll probably get into this later, but we're even trying to go a step beyond organic and use ingredients that are sourced from regenerative farms. Also sort of getting to the why of like, why did we choose to start this business? It's not just because we saw that there is bread needed in the world, is also that we see that there's a shift that needs to occur in our food system if we're going to continue to have balance and bounty from our earth. Yeah.
And what are the different types of breads that you sell?
We have 4 products that we sell. We have our buckwheat loaf, the sourdough bread, the original kind of plain recipe. We have a bun that we make out of that same base recipe. There's also olive oil in that one to help it release from the pan, organic olive oil. And we have 2 flavored loaves. We have the cheesy herb and the garlic rye. The garlic rye does not contain rye. It's a rye-less garlic rye, and it has a caraway seed, which are the kind of reminiscent flavor of rye comes from the caraway seed. So, and the cheesy herb is also plant-based, and the cheesy flavor comes from nutritional yeast. So, those are our flavor loaves, and they're all really delicious. People always ask us what our favorite is, and I jump back and forth. But the go-to is the buckwheat for us. I think it's just a universal, like, You can do anything with it. It can become sweet or savory, or, it's really delicious by itself. So we go with the buckwheat quite a bit, and then, flavored loaf here and there.
We actually live with another family, and the 2-year-old, well, he's 3 now, 3-year-old and 5-year-old that we live with really like the buns.
Yeah. Just because of the shape. And
we want the circle pacha.
We want the circle. Yeah.
But it also gets nice.
That's
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our buckwheat loaf is by far our top seller. I think when you're coming in like as a trial, a lot of our customers right now are new customers, and the trial SKU tends to be the plain buckwheat loaf. It's like the entry, I'm going to try this out.
very nice, very nice. So, this is kind of basing on your website. Are all of your products vegan?
Yes, they are. Yeah, everything is plant-based. Yeah, we have no plans on incorporating animal products anytime soon.
Fantastic. And just to clarify again for everyone who's watching that, so all of your products are gluten-free?
Yeah.
All gluten-free,
Certified organic.
Certified organic and gluten-free.
And vegan.
Dairy-free.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And grain-free. And mostly allergy-free, unless you're allergic to the few ingredients that are in our products, which are not typically allergens.
Yeah, like we don't have nuts or coconut or some of the other peanuts, like those soy, those kind of top allergens.
Eggs, shellfish.
Yeah, we don't have any of that in the products either.
No refined sugar, tapioca, none of that. Tree nuts, peanuts, legumes. You don't have any of that. That's awesome. No grains, sesame, oat, rice, xanthan or other gums and binders. You don't have any of that. That's awesome.
None of that. It's just the base recipe. It's just buckwheat and salt. And then the flavors that we mentioned just have like rosemary and nutritional yeast and garlic, or garlic and caraway seeds. They're just like
that's
cold spices.
That's fantastic.
Ingredient.
That's fantastic, because like when my sister and I go to the store, oh my God, we're starving. Like, let's get something to eat, some snack or something. Then we'll pick it up and see like it's supposed to be bread or some simple thing, and it has like 50 ingredients. I'm like, what is all this stuff, And you both have made a product which literally is just like 2 or 3 ingredients. I mean, literally, and you just don't see that, which is quite remarkable what you both are doing.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah,
because I tell you, like every time I go to the store, it's like, oh, we're starving, can't buy anything here. So that was really cool. So that's quite, and no one's doing it. No one that I've seen is doing it. So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and for our patients, even for their children, because they're having so many different sensitivities with everything that they've been exposed to, with all everything that's being sprayed everywhere, and air, water, soil, I mean everything, that they have so many different sensitivities. And so this is such a beautiful way to support them, the children, is in that they don't have to be deprived of eating delicious food, and that's healthy for them.
Yeah,
it's huge.
That you can take out of your freezer and throw in the toaster. Like for moms, I know that we cook a lot from scratch, and we have our, if you hear the baby coos in the background, this is Amina. She's breastfeeding with us right now. She's 6 months old. And just having the convenience of a ready-made bread that you don't have to make yourself, like that's just huge for moms who are at home, moms and dads and caretakers who are at home alone with their kids, feeding them all day long.
And your baby's name again is your daughter's
Amina.
name? Amina.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that everyone listening here today is probably pretty excited about this bread. And so I was going to ask you next, like, where should I store this bread? Like, how do you keep it? How do you keep it preserved? Like in your.
That's a really good question. So it has no preservatives in it. We bake the bread and freeze it, and we ship it to our customers frozen. It will thaw in transit, but we recommend then, if you aren't going to open the loaf and eat it within a week, we recommend storing it in the freezer. And pretty soon here, the loaves are actually going to be sliced, and we're going to recommend that you just store it in the freezer too, because you can toast it directly out of the freezer.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay. All right. And so how long what's the shelf life of the bread?
In the refrigerator, it's like 1 to 2 weeks, although that can vary. If you have like a very dry environment, sometimes the bread lasts like 3 months.
I see.
But in the freezer, it can last for up to 2 years from the baking.
Oh, wow. That's great. Yeah. Okay.
Another question is, once you open up the vacuum seal in the bag, do you need to put it back into something airtight, or is it okay to just
No,
keep
it's
it?
actually better to keep it not, I mean, that's the reason the bread will go bad in the fridge in 1 week is because people will put it in, if you store it in the fridge sealed in that vacuum seal, and then the moisture that's trapped in there in the fridge, it'll go bad faster than if you just open it and, you know, kind of loosely close it, but keep it in the fridge. And the refrigerators actually naturally dry things. So then it will dry out a little bit, and it won't go bad as quickly once it's opened. So we recommend keeping in the freezer, and then once you open it, you can keep it in the fridge because it has to be sliced. So you can't just store it in the freezer until we start selling the pre-sliced loaves, at which point then you can just keep it in the freezer all the time.
Okay. And basically then they can keep it in the freezer and take it out as they need it too.
No, because it has to be sliced. So you can't slice it when it's frozen. So you could pre-slice it yourself, and until we get the sliced loaves, you could pre-slice it yourself and then put it into the freezer and then pull out slices as you need and toast them. Or you can move it to the fridge when you're ready to start eating it, and then just kind of slice it as you go and toast it and just keep it in the fridge at that point.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Any type of knife that is easier to slice the bread than another, or?
Yeah, for sure. So we recommend typically using a straight edge chef knife. Unless you have like a really nice bread knife. Some bread knives do a great job at slicing it, but some serrated knives aren't really great at slicing it. They can make it crumble. So we recommend a straight edge chef knife actually for slicing it. It works really well. And then it's more consistent. We don't have to, evaluate your knife just across the board. They all tend to work better.
Okay. Good.
So you answered, I think, some of the main questions that most people would ask. So I guess the only other question is, how can people get PACHA bread?
Before we answer that question, one other thing that really sets us apart from not just other breads, but other consumer packaged goods is our packaging. And the vacuum seal bag that we're in currently, and then the bag that we're moving to, the bread bag, is 100% home compostable.
Wow.
So we're going to be the first,
Wow.
bread in a bread bag that's 100% home compostable, and currently our packaging is also 100% home compostable. So,
Wow.
we're really trying to eliminate the plastic waste in this industry as well, and there's a ton of it. And that's when we go to the grocery store, we tend to avoid a lot of the packaged products because of the packaging, unless we can find products in like paper bags or reusable glass or aluminum that's really easy to recycle. We tend to stay away from packaged products because we don't want to add to the plastic, pile up. And so, our product can just be, the bags can just be cut up and buried in the backyard, or thrown into a home compost pile, or sent to a municipal compost facility, and they break down no problem.
Yeah, our compost is full of these bags.
Yeah.
We can adjust.
Yeah, and we were just at a trade show in Los Angeles or in Anaheim, the Natural Food Expo, the biggest one in the world. And for all of the great brands doing amazing things there's very few that are selling stuff in compostable packaging, and it's coming. People are looking for good options, and we want to kind of lead the charge with that and just show people that it's possible and the technology's there, and it's time to switch, even if it's a little bit more expensive.
That is fantastic.
Oh,
That is just fantastic and unique. You're again a pioneer in that area too. So that's really great. Fantastic. Anything else you want to share that I haven't asked or?
We're also going to share. Well, we can talk about where to find it, and then also about the the leaf under too.
Yeah. So currently, we are sold in some stores in Southern California. If you happen to be in Southern California, you can find us at Gelson's and Erewhon and Jimbo's, Bristol Farms, Mother's Markets. You can find us at Down to Earth in Hawaii. We will have more grocery stores coming online. So if you go to our website and sign up for our email list at www.livepacha.com, you'll get to hear those announcements as they come online. And that's the other place we actually sell the majority of our bread through our website, which again, livepacha.com, livepacha.com. We ship to anywhere in the United States.
That's fantastic. So it's shipped from Southern California then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah,
And
the shipping materials are really cool. The outer box cardboard, and then the inner insulation is a paper-based 100% recycled paper product insulation that can be also recycled or composted. So it's
Nice.
a styrofoam-free, shipping insulated shipping box.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, you both are thinking, so far ahead. So, you both are visionaries, really creating this company and offering everything that you do. And the other aspect we wanted to ask you about is, in addition to benefiting the health of all of us, you're also benefiting the health of our planet and agricultural industry and sustainable farming and the bees. Can you explain about that as well?
Yeah, so that's really, I think, at the root of why we got into this business. In addition to making great bread that nourishes people, we are really, really passionate about transforming our farming system, in the United States and the rest of the world, and switching, moving towards regenerative agriculture. And regenerative agriculture is a farming system in which the farmer is really focused on improving the quality and the health of the soil and building topsoil. And typically in mechanized farming, we are eroding our topsoil and losing topsoil year after year. And so in that system, eventually we won't have any farmland to grow food on. Some estimates say within 25 or 30 years, we're going to run out of farmland. So regenerative agriculture is reversing that. And it's all about keeping the soil covered with plants, which is why buckwheat is an incredible crop that can be rotated in. It's a fast crop. It can be tilled back down into the soil and add those nutrients right back in. So farmers can add it into a rotation of crops and, layer different crops rather than leaving the soil bare, which dries it out. Mm-hmm. And so, regenerative agriculture, certified organic is like, okay, you're either certified organic or you're not. With regenerative agriculture, it's a process. And some of the certifications are actually realizing that and saying, okay, like if the farmer is willing to get on board for the process, then we'll certify them as regenerative because they're willing to continuously improve the quality of their soil. Some farmers can't go from here to here, overnight. And so we're actually buying buckwheat from a regenerative farm or a buckwheat grower that's getting certified regenerative. And we're in the process of getting that certification, for our products as well. And it's really important. Like you mentioned, food for bees, buckwheat flowers provide food for bees and other pollinators, butterflies. And there's just so many benefits, retaining the water that rains on a farmer's property when things aren't planted and the soil is bare and dried out. When the water runs off the property and creates floods and all sorts of damage. And when you have good, healthy soil, the water soaks in and the farm retains the water. So there's just so many benefits to that method of farming.
Yeah. If anybody who's listening has never heard of regenerative agriculture or wants to learn more, there's an incredible film by an organization called Kiss the Ground. You can just Google Kiss the Ground and you'll find their documentary about what regenerative agriculture is and how important it is for the health of our soil and our food. And that's the other like component of regenerative agriculture. Not only are we like rebuilding soil to help retain water and take carbon from the atmosphere and store it in the soil, it's also creating a healthy soil ecosystem so that all of the microbes that provide the micronutrients into our food are there. And that's one thing that like I mean, people are just now starting to kind of realize is that our food in this US system has macronutrients, it has the carbs and the protein, but it doesn't actually have very many of the micronutrients that come from really healthy soil. Like, you know, a garden tomato that came out of dad's garden tastes way different than the one you buy at the store. And that's because it has so much more of the nutrition from that well-tended and well-stewarded soil.
Wow. Well, because the energy that goes behind, you know, behind the company, the people behind the company are the company in the sense that it's everything that you both are so passionate about. You both are so passionate about people's health and their welfare and the welfare of the planet and the animals. I mean, and creating a sustainable environment for all of us to live, you know, in harmony and health and peace and well-being. So all of that goes into the products that you created. And I can tell you that, you know, they're absolutely delicious. We just loved your breads and everything that you're doing for the planet as a whole on top of it. And we know that our clients, you know, are feeling the same way, and we're going to continue sharing everything you both are doing with everybody that we know. And really, congratulations. I mean this from the bottom of our hearts. Really, what you're doing is so needed now more than ever. And, you know, really, you're raising the game as well for others to do the same, which is going to be fantastic.
Speaking of also raising money, because, you know, this is quite an effort, and we can't yet share. There is a big piece of news that we will be sharing eventually, but we are about to get into a large grocery store chain, in addition to, you know, all the online sales. And we're growing our facility. We're increasing our ability to produce more bread, and we're currently raising capital on a platform called WeFunder. And you can invest as little as $200 into our company and, you know, have shares of the company. And so our company truly is like a community-owned company. When we're finished with this capital raise, we will be over 50% community-owned. So really, you know, it's not just an effort to make money, but really an effort to, you know, bring the whole community in and have everyone take part of it. And our success is your success. And so, and the planet's success, hopefully. So yeah, our capital raise is WeFunder/PACHA. And it's just a great opportunity. You know, most people don't get the opportunity to invest in startups because startups are typically, you know, requiring $10,000 or $50,000 minimum investments. And so just a great opportunity to not only buy a product that supports, you know, your values, but also invest in a company that supports your values if this resonates with you and if our values and our product resonate.
Yeah. And to be clear, that's wefunder.com/.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget the .com.
Won't work on
this. Or if you just do what all the, you know, the kids do these days, you just type in WeFunder and PACHA on Google and you'll find it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I don't know if anyone actually types in web addresses anymore, but.
Oh, that's great. No, and we'll have the link as well, so that people can go to the link and be a part of this movement, really, is what you're creating. So that's fantastic. And that you made it accessible for everyone to be able to participate. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're
Yeah.
excited.
Great.
You excited to Anita here. She's
she's so beautiful. Oh, look at her. Hi, sweetheart.
The future CEO of PACHA.
You don't have to
That's
do
right.
the
Yeah,
year,
if
but
you
if you
want.
want
I mean, it's never not, we can't make that unilateral decision, but
yeah.
if you do a good job.
She's precious.
Yeah.
And this is for the future, for future generations,
It
what you're
is.
doing. So that's beautiful.
We actually
Beautiful.
have a t-shirt that you can get through our website that has Amina's face on it and it says food for the future.
Oh, perfect. She's
That's
precious.
wonderful. So everyone, yeah, we'll put the websites on, and the main website is livepacha, livepacha.com, right?
Yep.
And if you want to find out more information of what we were just talking about today, and also about the crowdfunding, we'll put that out too. So wonderful! It was a pleasure speaking with you both, and gaining so much knowledge, and very innovative and insightful, and kind of like pioneer. You both are like pioneers, really, because no one's done what you're doing that I've seen. So that's pretty awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really nice to speak with you too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, everyone, please again visit their website, livepacha.com. And we have their website here, and also to be a part of the movement to invest in their company. And so we can all support each other. And we have the website, we'll have the website link as well. So please click that and join this incredible movement and with these beautiful people, beautiful family. And so thank you again, everyone, for joining us here today. And be sure you'll hear from us. We'll send you an email as well with updates and the recording of this video. So take care, everyone.